G'day, mate, and how the bloody hell are you? Welcome to In the Back of My Head podcast, episode 76. It's a weekly creative journal where I just ramble on about whatever's in the back of my head surrounding creativity and the internet and culture, whatever the bloody hell. And if you get anything out of it, absolutely brilliant, sweet, fantastic. I couldn't be happier. And if not, no worries. As they all are, I suppose this one could be a bit rambly, but I wanted to talk about a few little experiences I've had recently with AI features eroding what is quickly becoming the dead internet, or at least a bit of a swamp. A bit of slop-filled swamp. I've spoken about AI many times in terms of the ethical, philosophical questions, morality, yada yada yada. And I'm sure I'll touch on many of those again in this episode, but I wanted to just kind of talk about the user experience currently with many an online tool, many just a technology tool in general, and how drastically it is eroding, degrading. We've spoken before about the enshittification of the internet. And to sound like an accelerationist, I think AI might be the final nail in the coffin for that. There's a few sites that I have used extensively that I love, or did love, that have recently become troughs of slop, or cesspools, or just broken, unusable. First one I want to speak about was Etsy, as Etsy was already under grave threat due to dropshipping. I'm sure that we have all gone and found a bespoke item that we're pretty excited about. We're like, oh, look at this handcrafted object. I'd love to get my hands on that. Oh no, it's $50. That's all right. I'm going to pay for it because an artist made it, and I want to support them. And then it arrives at your door, and lovely, good, it's good. But then you see that same item, exactly the same item, because it's the same pictures, it's the same advertising, the same wording, everything on a site like Temu for like 80% less. And you're like, God damn, that's dropshipping for you. We all encounter it. That's the shit that's on Amazon, it's on eBay, it's on now Etsy as well. Etsy was kind of the response to that. Etsy was like the response against those marketplaces, and it too is now just full of dropship bullshit. But now a new phenomenon on there is AI art has begun to drown out artists on Etsy who are selling prints and other things like that. People are selling AI art on Etsy as prints or digital downloads or what have you. And in fact, there are many items on Etsy that are also using AI images in the marketing, in the product photos. I so rarely turn to Etsy now. I'll turn to Etsy now to find something, and then I'll go and find where to buy it cheaper online, which I don't know, is that worse or better? It's a bloody sad state of affairs. Another one that I've not used extensively, but I know a lot of people do, but I've started using recently, Pinterest, to try and find reference images, inspirational images for illustration, for art, what have you. And recently, when you search for a thing on Pinterest, you will get a rough split of about 80 to 20%. As in 80% AI slop, 20% actual illustrations and photos and what have you. That figure's pulled out of my ass. But if you go on to Pinterest and you try and find some material to check out to pin to your board for inspiration or what have you, you will find that AI slop has suddenly completely taken over. I first noticed that with Google Images, and I know that you've experienced the same thing. You go and search for a duck. Go search for a duck right now, an image of a duck, and tell me what the split is. Is it 80-20? Is it close to that at least? Ducks with multiple beaks, ducks with way too many feet. All kinds of shit. And it's making these platforms completely unusable for the most part, defeating the purpose. Google image search is no longer much use at all. I use 2 different websites to get stock imagery for artworks that I'm working on or videos or what have you. One is called Pexels and one is called Pixabay. Pixabay, I don't know what the difference is between these two, like how they're both approaching this situation, but Pixabay is just so much AI slop. And I mean this not in the sense of just like AI imagery is inherently useless. There are uses. I have used it. I have seen it used in interesting ways. There are cool things you can do with it that can't be done without it. I think that's important. I think that's important about asking like, what can be done with this that we couldn't do before? Not, can we generate what we already have but worse? That's the problem with this. That's the problem with these sites getting drowned out, because the quality has dropped so dramatically. Pexels, in contrast to Pixabay, I don't see AI stuff on there. I see genuine stock photography made by individual users, and the quality is just better. The quality is just so much higher. There is just as much good stuff on Pixabay, but you have to scroll endlessly through so much slop to find it. Even when you click the box, no AI images please, and then you still get a 50-50 split of trash versus some real images. If the AI was as good, if not better, maybe I'd have a different experience or a different take, but currently speaking, it's just making these platforms worse to use. Recently, Facebook and Instagram got caught having AI-generated profiles, users, bots operating on their platform where they would actually go and interact with people. So these are bots that have AI-generated images, AI-generated bios, and then AI-generated responses. They will comment on people's shit. They will respond to your stories. They will do all this kind of stuff. And they kind of argued, they're like, well, wouldn't you want, a response though? You post something, you post some stuff, and you want a response. And so we've given you these responses. And I think collectively everyone said, no, fuck off, please. Obviously, we want responses from real people. And so Facebook and Instagram said, Meta said, okay, so sorry. But you know this just because they got caught, and they'll be back in greater numbers. But what's interesting about that one, to me, is the severe short-sightedness of it. This is the topic that I'm actually talking about here, is the short-sightedness of all this, of pretty much every bit of tech, every bit of platform that I'm using, that I'm wanting to enjoy, that once was maybe somewhat useful, is becoming just worse every single day due to enshittification. And enshittification once was things like drop shipping or just like bloat features that were added to things. Things get worse because profit must go up, costs must be cut, which was already happening, but I think has been massively accelerated by AI. And this is not a crazy view or a crazy thing to say. Everyone's saying it. There are a million articles, a million YouTube videos about this, but I just wanted to ramble on about myself, and just because I am so deeply tired and frustrated by this. And I want to make it clear to AI apologists, and again, I have utilized machine learning technology in several ways. In fact, currently my voice is being edited by a machine learning product. 2 different machine learning products. Noise reduction things that actually listen to noise in a algorithmic way, much like image generators work, and learn what a human voice sounds like so that it can take out everything that isn't that in a beautifully amazing, like truly magical way. The amount of noise reduction and reverb reduction and mouth sounds, all the clicking, all the popping, all that, greatly reduced thank you to that technology, to some AI technology. AI in a very broad sense, because what the fuck is AI? It's machine learning, but it gets slapped onto every little thing. So don't get me wrong. there's a lot of elements that I like about it. There's a lot of things that it's done for me that I'm like, this is fucking fantastic. This is speeding up the process. This is making my life easier, more enjoyable. But when it comes to these platforms, and when it comes to a lot of features, even on my PC, that dishes me up ads and tries to get me to use Copilot as much as bloody humanly possible, and I refuse to use it because I'm faster than the AI, mate. I can type faster. My thumbs on my phone are faster than trying to get Google to talk to me. I'm faster on my mouse and keyboard than bloody Copilot is. I don't need things summarized. I need my hotkeys, and I need a workable PC that isn't full of bloat and bullshit and ads. And the thing about all this is it's just so short-sighted, and that is the one that just blew my mind with this Instagram and Meta bot accounts feature that will most certainly return, or is still a thing for sure. They just have stopped talking about it, but I'm sure it exists. That it's a buzzword, that it's a fun little thing to say, that we've implemented this new feature, we've implemented AI, aren't you excited? And the only people who are excited are the shareholders. These features are not for us. These features are only there for shareholders to go, oh yes please, we think that's what the market wants. Because when you slap AI features onto a thing, then the little number goes up on the stock market. And so they make a little bit more money in the near future. But if that's the path that Instagram and Facebook are going down, where they actively, because wasn't it once the idea that bots were like third parties that were trying to like scam you out of shit or just like flood you with advertising, yada yada. The idea that the companies themselves would add these bots, and sure, they might be operating in a different way, but if advertisers find out that their ads are getting played mostly to bots, or if content creators find that most of their interactions are bots, or if people find that they're posting photos for their friends and family, but it's mostly bots interacting, then everyone just goes, hang on, so what's the fucking point of this? I spoke a few episodes ago on an AI social media app where you're the only user. It's a little personal social media app where you're the only user. So you can post stuff and the AI people, quote unquote, will respond to you, interact with you. A way to test ideas, have conversations, and yada yada yada. Sounds like a nightmare. Sounds like being trapped in your own fucking head for the rest of eternity. Sounds truly terrifying. There's some sci-fi nightmare bullshit. And now it turns out that potentially these platforms are heading in that direction anyway, because they get to slap AI onto a thing, fake interactions with people, and everyone goes like, I'm getting so many likes and comments, and ooh, very exciting. But then advertisers get wind of it and go, hold up, well, so we're going to stop paying you to advertise to bots, because that doesn't make any sense. I don't know if that's the direction that we're headed in. I don't know if that's actually where they're going to go with this. Maybe they actually realize it's a fucking stupid idea. But the overarching theme of this is not just AI. AI is kind of a final nail in the coffin, but it's this lack of respect for the user. They have no intent of adding features for us. Every new feature is just to make this shareholders go, oh yes please, that sounds good, that's a nice fun buzzword, and we get some more cash. Enshittification is due to corporate greed. It's due to capitalism. It is due to the profit motive, short-sighted profit motive. And it has much greater ramifications than ruining Instagram and TikTok and all these other things, that's for sure. I understand that. But I'm just blown away and exhausted by using these things that I really quite enjoy. That we saw on the horizon there. Look at all these amazing things that this new technology can do for us. And instead, it's making the platforms that we utilize useless. Or just becoming bloat, or just becoming hurdles in our work process. One that baffled me was I used Hemingway Editor, or I did a little bit. I used Hemingway Editor online just as a note-taking app, and I was really enjoying it. And then they added AI features which just bombard you with suggestions, and when you hit the / key, it gives you all these things that the AI can do for you. And I said to it, hey mate, I came here for a basic note-taking app that I can just open up in my browser nice and quickly. The simplicity of that is actually what I was after. I liked it being clean and simple, and you adding this has completely ruined it. Now, that could be that I'm utilizing this product in the way that they didn't intend. They actually did not intend for it to be a simple, clean note-taking app. Okay, however, their desktop app has no AI, and in fact, at the top of the banner on Hemingway Editor on the browser, it says, get the desktop app that has no AI. So it's like, I'm sorry, are you using AI as a selling point in the opposite direction? As like hostage? You're holding me hostage with this AI? I'm trapped in this program with an AI, and if I want to get out, then I have to pay you some cash? That's insane. That's just an insane understanding of the fact that like we don't want this technology in this particular implementation. You're fully aware of that, and in fact, you'd be like, yeah, well, if you don't want it, then you can pay for the full version, mate, that doesn't have a feature. Imagine selling your product through the tagline, it doesn't have that feature that you hate that we have in our other product. Fucking blown away. This short-sightedness is clearly eroding these products, clearly eroding these platforms, and it's accelerating the enshittification of the internet. And this is sort of a rehash of a previous episode I did on the dead internet idea, where the internet is just taken over by bots. And in that, I spoke about the idea that there is this theory that especially younger people will be turning to things like Discord to find smaller communities. And I said that we should just start focusing on our locals. We should start focusing on just returning to go to the market, go to your local pub, go to your cafe and just hang out in real life. But that's not truly feasible for everybody, depending on where you are, depending on who you are, what your situation is. But it also is because we've got this now. We've got the internet now, we've got all this technology now, and you can't take it away. I don't think people are going to just willingly part ways with all this because it's like, it's not so useful anymore. I'll just go outside. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We might turn to Discord, but I don't think Discord is really that helpful for like building a massive audience, selling anything. And I'm not talking about just like social media influencers or what have you, but people who are starting small businesses, a carpenter who needs to do some social media marketing. Discord's not going to do that. How are they going to find some business? How are they going to be a useful member of society that goes out and fucking fixes your house up, without getting their name out there? So now I'm kind of switching. Now I'm kind of, I hate to be an accelerationist in waiting for the downfall of a thing. That's a philosophy I discovered recently, which baffled me and terrifies me. But there are accelerationists out there who just want things to turn to shit quickly, so that way things will right themselves in the end sooner. I don't know. I feel like that's massively coping, or refusing to actually do anything. However, in this particular case, I kind of subscribe to the idea that with the acceleration of enshittification, hopefully, these platforms do actually collapse under the weight of their own bloat and short-sighted stupidity. That if a platform like Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or what have you gets swamped, gets completely drowned out by AI bots, be they third party or be them implemented by the platforms themselves, then people will just go elsewhere. Because I don't think people will leave platforms due to moral reasons, if I'm being cynical. I think they'll leave because the platform becomes shit. If it becomes useless, clunky, and a waste of their time, then they'll go elsewhere. And hopefully we're just seeing an end of an era. Hopefully we're just seeing an end of an era that these companies have gotten too big for their fucking britches. They're greedy, driven only by the short-sighted profit motive and shareholders, then implementing new AI features that nobody wants and AI bots that nobody wants to interact with. Then hopefully new platforms will crop up and are cropping up that might seem like they can't compete now, but they actually kind of only have to wait out the big ones to kill themselves. Watching the behemoths that are these social media platforms infested with a disease and just wait it out for them to die. We can move elsewhere to platforms that hopefully are at their core designed for people and not shareholders. I know you have to be a sustainable business. That's still a thing. Who knows where the world's going? Who knows what's going to happen? But for the love of God, these tools are for human connection and creativity and creation. Connecting with your friends, family, and strangers all around the world, creating new things, art, products, anything. And marketing your small business. Corporate greed is on the way of destroying that, being massively accelerated by AI. And hopefully we see the alternative of systems and platforms that are built actually for the people on it. Every feature that is added is for you to enjoy. Hopefully this makes your life better. That'd be nice. That'd be bloody nice. I'm going to wrap it up there. A little bit of a ramble about AI destroying the fucking internet. I have a goal this year. I have a new goal because Windows is becoming worse and worse every goddamn day. New AI features, ads. I'm sick of ads being on my computer, not on my browser, but in my computer. When I go to the search function, I get ads. I can't have that. That's a lack of respect for the user, for the end user. And so my goal this year is to switch to Linux. I'm scared to do that. It's going to be a massive pain in the ass, but that's my goal. I have until October when Windows has decided we're not going to support Windows 10 anymore, but also you need to buy a new computer because your computer is too shit, mate. It's working fine. Because that's not for us. That's not for us. That's for shareholders. Obviously, in a sense, this is all inconsequential. This is not a big deal. But it is a big deal. It is a big deal to a lot of people. A lot of people. It's like the TikTok ban. People are like, oh no, you're losing TikTok. People start businesses on TikTok. People's livelihood is on TikTok. There's a lot of bullshit on TikTok. There's a lot of bullshit on Instagram. There's a lot of bullshit everywhere. But at the same time, there are people just trying to get by and just trying to do a thing and make art and promote their small carpentry business. These things have weight to people's lives. And I am fucking sick and tired of watching corporate interests erode them. Alright, enough rambles. That's the podcast. If you've enjoyed it, thanks so much. Hey, I'm doing prints. I don't know if you've seen that. I'm doing art prints. There should be some up in my store. Wrath.com/store, maybe. Go to wrath.com in the description. You'll see it. You'll see some of my art prints. And you'll be able to buy them. And I'll send them to you. If you're international, then maybe DM me and we can sort that out. Be well, mate. I'll see you on the next one, eh?